and you thought XRP was done at $2.34. You're crazy, because analysts think that XRP can hit $50,000. In fact, their estimates went up from $35,000 per XRP all the way to $50,000, and XRP just gained a whopping through $2.5 trillion market. And Brad Garlinghouse himself said that XRP is going to capture 14% of Swift's own supply, which would equate to something like $14 trillion in under 5 years. This would put the price of XRP, just according to Brad Garlinghouse's own estimates, at more than $700. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's video. You need to see it, because I'm going to have the clips for you from Brad Garlinghouse himself, talking about how XRP could hit over $700. I also have a clip of somebody talking about a potential XRP buyout worth a whopping $1 billion being launched by Ripple. We'll have that clip for you today as well. But let's start by showing this clip of Brad Garlinghouse talking about the potential XRP price in under 5 years.
We're going to see many hundreds of billions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets fairly quickly.
It's 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So, I mean,
It's for a dumb reason.
Swift today, there's two ways to think about Swift. There's the messaging, and there's liquidity. Right. Liquidity is owned by the banks. I think less about the messaging and more about liquidity. Because if you're driving all the liquidity, that's good for XRP. Anyway, so I'll say 5 years, 14%.
Now, 14% of Swift's current market would put XRP's total market cap at around at about 14% of 200 trillion US dollars. That's exactly how much Swift actually transacts every single year. The calculation is very simple. 14% of $200 trillion gives XRP a circulating supply of $28 trillion. And that is assuming every single XRP, or 100 billion, are accessible. Now, the price of XRP would jump up by $17.80 per every trillion of that $28 trillion, which would put the price of XRP at $498 if every single XRP in existence was used to fulfill Swift's needs. Now, obviously, we know that about half of the XRP that is in existence is currently locked up in Ripple's escrow, which would mean we would double this number times 2, which would put a price on XRP at $996.80. But we're still missing some information. That information is that not all of retail will be willing to sell their XRP in order for it to be used by Swift. Additionally, Swift is not the only customer that Ripple currently has using XRP. In fact, there's a lot of other customers that will use XRP, which would put a whole lot of pressure and make this number minuscule compared to the potential. Now, I also want you to keep in mind something that we haven't even discussed all that much. XRP Ledger burns XRP with every single transaction. In fact, now that XRP Ledger is getting into decentralized media, which is set to replace the traditional mainstream media that you know. The mainstream media that's been shoving banks down your throats, that's been shoving the US dollar in your throats, that's getting shut down by the XRP Ledger. The largest decentralized media outlet currently existing on the XRP Ledger is backed by a token called MEXC token on the XRP Ledger. And that token is used to pay journalists. And we're not talking about a small number of journalists up to this point. We're talking about more than 200 journalists currently working on the XRP, getting paid on the XRP Ledger, publishing articles. But that hasn't even come to the United States. Come January 21st, the MEXC token will launch on a US centralized exchange, which is going to change the game. Because if you think about it, the decentralized media is worth the mainstream media is worth $2.5 trillion. And the MEXC token on the XRP Ledger has a total supply of only 500 million as opposed to 100 billion XRP. 500 million, if you conceptualize that, it's the same market cap, actually it's a little bit less, the same supply as Solana. Solana has a total supply of 600 million, so about 100 million than BXE token. And if BXE token currently just hits the same market cap as Solana, it would jump up from its current price 3 cents, to over $300. This is not financial advice, guys. Do your own research, do whatever you want, but you should definitely look into it, because once it goes in the US, it's going to change the entire system in the United States, particularly in the media section of the United States. It's a massive, massive industry. And the banking and the media industries are very intertwined. So the banking and the media industry, in my opinion, go at the same time. And this is why estimates that put the price of XRP at $50,000 may have sounded crazy before, but they don't anymore. I mean, it's going to take time, absolutely. Even for XRP to hit $1,000, it will take time. And this is why I'm bullish on the XRP ledger, because it took a whole lot less push for a token like BXE token, for example, on the XRP ledger to jump. If you have $1 billion, just $1 billion, which I think is like less than 10%, which is like 5% of XRP's current market cap. 5%. If that jumped into BXE token, you'd be talking like $100 per BXE token from 3 cents. So if you'd invested, $300 in BXE, it would be at $300,000, if not more. So these small market cap tokens are the tokens that, in the short term, give you massive, massive potential and margins. But it is coming for XRP. When you see it just using Swift be able to push the $1,000 mark, think about all the other use cases beyond Swift. Swift is not even in the picture right now. This is what's just coming. And already XRP is at $3 or $2.30 or something around those lines, between $2.10 and $2.30. So think about that really, really hard. Listen to this guy here.
We got global deals on principles for how they're going to, interact among each other with central bank digital currencies. And people really believe they couldn't come up with a price set for XRP? That's like not even hard to think
There's
about.
no logic there. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And so if they do that, we believe the value would be higher than it was in September and October of 2021 when we were throwing out 25,037.5 coins.
So it would be a higher price than
lot
the
higher,
previous
probably
prediction.
in the 50,000 now, I would think. We haven't brought the numbers down.
So that is what is coming for you guys. Again, I really think these are exciting times. I think January 1st is going to be a massive date. The 21st, sorry, it's going to be a massive date. And I think what happens before January 21st is going to be completely different than what will happen after January 21st. There's going to be a massive amount of burning that's happening on the XRP ledger, particularly because, again, BXE token is a means of payment token. So essentially, authors are paid, journalists are paid using the BXE token right on the XRP ledger. So there's a lot of transactions that have to happen and a lot of money that has to shift back and forth using BXE token, which means a lot of XRP will be burned. Now, obviously, this means that the price per BXE token, or 500 million, if it was $1, it's 3 cents right now. But if it was $1, you'd only have 500 million tokens or $500 million to pay to journalists, which is obviously not enough. You have singular news channels that pay more than that. So imagine that, more than that in a year, some of them. Imagine that being the entire existing budget for media. You're talking, that's chump change. Even $1 is chump change, and it's 3 cents right now. So imagine 3 cents. It's nothing, in my opinion. Now, do your own research. I'm not telling you what to do. At least look into it. And if you're a journalist and interested in working on the XRP ledger, I suggest you look into this. This is a good way to make some money as well. Banexchange.com is the website. I'll leave it in the description or a part of this post as well. Guys, remember, I'm doing my giveaway as soon as I hit 40,000 followers. So make sure you hit that follow button on my X account, Finance Bro YT. Even if you're coming from YouTube, hit that follow me on X. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube for a chance for you to win yourself some free XRP simply by retweeting, liking, and following us on X. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.